Hercules is a constellation named after Hercules, the Roman mythological hero adapted from the Greek hero Heracles. Hercules was one of the 48 constellations listed by the 2nd century astronomer Ptolemy, and it remains one of the 88 in modern constellations today. It is the 5th largest of the modern constellations. Stars. Hercules has no first or second magnitude stars. However, it does have several stars above magnitude 4. Alpha Hercules, traditionally called Rassel-Gethy, is a binary star resolvable in small amateur telescopes, 400 light-years from Earth. The primary is an irregular variable star. It is a red giant with a minimum magnitude of 4 and a maximum magnitude of 3. It has a diameter of 400 solar diameters. The secondary, which orbits every 3,600 years, is a blue-green hued star of magnitude 5.4. Its common name means the kneeler's head. Beta Hercules, also called Cornophoros, is the brightest star in Hercules. It is a yellow giant of magnitude 2.8, 148 light-years from Earth. Its traditional name means club bearer. Deltoid 5512 is a double star divisible in small amateur telescopes. The primary is a blue-white star of magnitude 3.1 and is 78 light-years from Earth. The Optical Companion is of magnitude 8.2. Gamma Hercules is also a double star divisible in small amateur telescopes. The primary is a white giant of magnitude 3.8, 195 light-years from Earth. The Optical Companion, widely separated, is 10th magnitude. Zeta Hercules is a binary star that is becoming divisible in medium aperture amateur telescopes, as the components widen to the peak in 2025. The system, 35 light-years from Earth, has a period of 34.5 years. The primary is a yellow-tinged star of magnitude 2.9 and the secondary is an orange star of magnitude 5.7. There are several dimmer variable stars in Hercules. 30 Hercules, also called G Hercules, is a semi-regular red giant with a period of 3 months, 361 light-years from Earth. It has a minimum magnitude of 6.3 and a maximum magnitude of 4.3. 68 Hercules, also called U Hercules, is a Beta Lyrae-type eclipsing binary star, 865 light-years from Earth. It has a period of 2 days. Its minimum magnitude is 5.4 and its maximum magnitude is 4.7. Hercules is also home to many double stars and binary stars. Kappa Hercules is a double star divisible in small amateur telescopes. The primary is a yellow giant of magnitude 5.0, 388 light-years from Earth. The secondary is an orange giant of magnitude 6.3, 470 light-years from Earth. Rho Hercules is a binary star 402 light-years from Earth, divisible in small amateur telescopes. Both components are blue-green giant stars. The primary is magnitude 4.5 and the secondary is magnitude 5.5. 95 Hercules is a binary star divisible in small telescopes, 470 light-years from Earth. The primary is a silvery giant star of magnitude 4.9 and the secondary is an old giant star of magnitude 5.2. 100 Hercules is a double star easily divisible in small amateur telescopes. Both components are magnitude 5.8 blue-white stars. They are 165 and 230 light-years from Earth. Mu Hercules is 27.4 light-years from Earth. The solar apex, i.e., the point on the sky which marks the direction that the Sun is moving in its orbit around the center of the Milky Way, is located within Hercules, close to Vega in neighboring Lyra. Planetary systems. 15 stars in Hercules are known to be orbited by extrasolar planets. 14 Hercules has 2 planets. The planet 14 Hercules B had the longest period and widest orbit at the time of discovery. The planet 14 Hercules C orbits much further out with very low eccentricity. HD 149,026 has a transient hot Jupiter planet and is one of the most prominent and studied. HD 154,345 has the planet HD 154,345b, a long period and wide orbit. HD 164,922 has the first long-period Saturn-like planet discovered. The mass is 0.36 megajoules and semi-major axis of 2.11 astronomical units. HD 147,506 has the most massive transients planet P2b at the time of discovery. The mass is 8.65 megajoules. HD 155,358 has 2 planets around the lowest metallicity planet harboring star. Both planets orbit in mild eccentricities. GSC 0308900929 has a short transients planet TRAS-3. The period was 31 hours and undergoing orbital decay. Gliese 649 has a Saturnian planet around the red dwarf star. HD 156,668 has a 4.15 Earth mass planet. HD 164,595 one known planet. HD 164,595b. Deep sky objects. Hercules contains 2 bright globular clusters. M13, the brightest globular cluster in the northern hemisphere, and M92. It also contains the nearly spherical planetary nebula Abell 39. M13 lies between the stars Eta Her and Zeta Her. It is dim, but may be detected by the unaided eye on a very clear night. M13, visible to both the naked eye and binoculars, is a globular cluster of the 6th magnitude that contains more than 300,000 stars and is 25,200 light-years from Earth. It is also very large, with an apparent diameter of over 0.25 degrees, half the size of the full moon. Its physical diameter is more than 100 light-years. Individual stars in M13 are resolvable in a small amateur telescope. M92 is a globular cluster of magnitude 6.4, 26,000 light-years from Earth. It is a Shapley Class 4 cluster, indicating that it is quite concentrated at the center. It has a very clear nucleus. M92 is visible as a fuzzy star in binoculars. Like M13, it is denser and smaller than the more celebrated cluster, the oldest globular cluster known at 14 billion years. Its stars are resolvable in a medium aperture amateur telescope. NGC 6229 is a demiglobular cluster, with a magnitude of 9.4. It is the 3rd brightest globular in the constellation, 100,000 light-years from Earth. It is a Shapley Class 4 cluster, meaning that it is fairly rich in the center and quite concentrated at the nucleus. NGC 6210 is a planetary nebula of the 9th magnitude, 4,000 light-years from Earth, visible as a blue-green elliptical disk in amateur telescopes larger than 75 mm in aperture. The Hercules cluster is a cluster of galaxies in Hercules. The Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall, the largest structure in the universe, is in Hercules. Hercules. Visualizations. The traditional visualization imagines Alpha Hercules as Hercules' head. Its name, Ras Aljathi, literally means head of the kneeling one. Hercules' left hand then points toward Lyra from his shoulder, and Beta Hercules, or Corniforus, forms his other shoulder. His narrow waist is formed by Epsilon Hercules and Zeta Hercules. Finally, his left leg is stepping on Draco's head, the dragon snake who Hercules has vanquished and perpetually gloats over for eternities. Keystone Asterism, a common form found in modern star charts, uses the quadrangle formed by Pi Her, Eta Her, Zeta Her and Epsilon Her as Hercules' torso. H.A. Ray has suggested an alternative visualization in which the keystone becomes Hercules' head. This quadrangle lies between two very bright stars, Vega in the constellation Lyra and Alpha Crb in the constellation Corona Borealis. The hero's right leg contains two bright stars of the third magnitude, Alpha Her and Delta Her. The latter is the right knee. The hero's left leg contains dim stars of the fourth magnitude, which do not have Bayer designations but which do have Flamsteed numbers. The star Beta Her belongs to the hero's outstretched right hand, and is also called Corniforus. History. According to Gavin White, the Greek constellation of Hercules is a distorted version of the Babylonian constellation known as the Standing Gods. White argues that this figure was, like the similarly named Sitting Gods, depicted as a man with a serpent's body instead of legs. He further argues that the original name of Hercules, the Nila, is a conflation of the two Babylonian constellations of the Sitting and Standing Gods. The earliest Greek references to the constellation do not refer to it as Hercules. Aratus describes it as follows: right there in its orbit wheels a phantom form, like to a man that strives at a task. The sign no man knows how to read clearly, nor what task he is bent, but men simply call him on his knees. Now that phantom that toils on his knees seems to sit on bended knee, and from both his shoulders his hands are upraised and stretch, one this way, one that, a fathom's length. Over the middle of the head of the crooked dragon, he has the tip of his right foot. Here too that crown, which glorious Dionysus set to be memorial of the dead Ariadne, wheels beneath the back of the toil-spent phantom. To the phantom's back the crown is near, but by his head mark near at hand the head of Ophiuchus. Yonder, too, is the tiny tortoise, which, while still beside his cradle, Hermes pierced for stings and bade it be called the lyre, and he brought it into heaven and set it in front of the unknown phantom. That croucher on his knees comes near the lyre with his left knee, but the top of the bird's head wheels on the other side, and between the bird's head and the phantom's knee is installed the lyre. The story connecting Hercules with the constellation is recounted by Dionysius of Halicarnassus. On his way back to Mycenae from Iberia, having obtained the cattle of Geryones' 10th labor, Heracles came to Liguria in northwestern Italy, where he engaged in battle with two giants, Albion and Bergenodesnus. The opponents were strong. Hercules was in a difficult position, so he prayed to his father Zeus for help. With the aegis of Zeus, Heracles won the battle. It was this kneeling position of Heracles when prayed to his father Zeus that gave the name the Nila. And Hyginus Hercules is also sometimes associated with Gilgamesh, a Sumerian mythological hero. Equivalence. In Chinese astronomy, the stars that correspond to Hercules are located in two areas, the purple forbidden enclosure and the heavenly market enclosure.